Hey guys, what's up? So there has been a lot of hype about a certain phone in the past few weeks in the budget category, which is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro. People are willing to buy this phone in the flash sales. The reason is that Xiaomi offers a lot of specs with their phones. Like this time they have managed to put a 48 megapixel Sony sensor, which is probably the most hyped feature about this device. So I've been using this phone for a couple of weeks now and I've got a plenty of thoughts. So let's just jump right into this full review. So the design of this Note 7 Pro is boxy looking with the frame made out of painted plastic. Not only the looks are shiny, but also it's slippery phone to hold in hand, thanks to the glass back. Yeah, there's Gorilla Glass 5 on both front and back of the phone. It is not thin at all, it's 8.1mm thick, and with this thickness comes a big camera bump on the back. Maybe it feels more thick because the previous versions of Note series was curved phones, and this time they have straightened the curves. The fingerprint scanner on the back is as fast as you expect it to be, and the scanner placement is also not too high. And on the bottom there is a speaker which sounds decently loud. Only one grill is the speaker, the other grill has a microphone, and between the grills there's a Type-C port to charge. It's good to see even budget phones have now a Type-C port, and it's becoming a standard. Also, I picked this color which is called Neptune Blue, which has this gradient back. I've been using this phone without a case, but I didn't got any scratches, but I would recommend a case or a skin because it's super slippery. Overall, there's not a lot to expect for the design in this price range. Then talking about the display, Note 7 Pro has a 6.3-inch Full HD IPS LCD display. It is as good as you expect from an LCD display. The colors are bright, vibrant, the viewing angles are great, and it gets pretty bright at outdoors. The sharpness is also fine, no complaints with that. Well, it's 2019, so everyone is shrinking the notch. So there's a water drop notch which houses the 13 megapixel front facing camera, but besides that there's a chin at the bottom which is expected at this price range. With my usage like watching videos and browsing through internet, the chin and the notch are ignored by my eye. And also watching 1080p videos on this panel is awesome. All the colors tend to pop really well. With all that, the display part has been good. Now moving on to the most highlighted feature of this Note 7 Pro, which is the cameras. So there's a 48 megapixel Sony sensor with 5 megapixel AI camera, which is I think useless. It just enhances the images like a beauty mode. But by default in the camera app, it shoots with 12 megapixel photos. I don't know why they have done that. So the 48 megapixel photos are available in the auto mode as well as in the manual mode or pro mode. The camera is good at shooting photos which are bright with decent dynamic range. I would say that the photos are soft with nice contrast. The color science is pretty decent. Usually camera is where we see a big drop off on the budget phones. This is still the case here, but if given some perfect light, this camera can perform well enough. It gets the job done. It's not a problematic camera at all. So how does the 48 megapixel photos different from the 12 megapixel default mode? It's not a drastic change that we would notice by comparing the photos side by side. Sometimes I prefer the 12 megapixel photos more than the 48 megapixel ones, and also the 48 megapixel photos takes a lot of space than the regular 12 megapixel. The 12 megapixel can range anywhere between 6 to 9 MB, whereas the 48 ones can range anywhere between 15 to 22 MB. Even though it has more megapixels, but it does not necessarily mean a better camera. So what's the benefit of shooting in more megapixels? What I noticed is that 48 megapixel photos capture more detail in some of the shots that I took, and you can tell just by zooming in the images. One thing I don't like about the 48 megapixel mode is that it takes too much time to process. I think the sensor is good, but the software is not yet fully ready to handle the big 48 megapixel camera. Maybe Xiaomi will fix this in the future software updates. But overall, the camera fits right under the budget of 14,000 Indian rupees. The performance on this Note 7 Pro is also decent. The new Snapdragon 675 works well in day-to-day opening and closing of apps. Also, it has 4 gigs of RAM, which keeps a lot of apps running in the background. You can also opt for 6 gigs of RAM if you want, but the performance is not so great thanks to the Xiaomi's MIUI skin, which runs on top of Android 9. There are a lot of ads issues which have been noticed recently. The ads are everywhere, whether you are installing an application from Play Store or lock screen ads. I would have loved to see a near to stock Android skin like we have in Xiaomi's Mi A2, but it's just a personal preference. Anyways, the PUBG performance is also good. It runs on ultra frame rate settings. Sometimes there are occasional frame drops, but you can always switch to medium or high for smooth gaming. The battery life on this phone is worth noting. It has 4000 mAh battery. With my normal use like social media and YouTube, the phone lasted me a full day with 13 hours of screen on time. With some gaming, the battery was again nice, with 9 to 10 hours of screen on time. Even if you run out of battery, you can fastly charge as it supports Quick Charge 4.0. Mostly budget phones have A+ battery life, and this phone has that. So at the end of the day, if you start comparing it with other phones for 15,000 rupees or under that budget, it still falls as a complete package. Like the big display with the water drop notch, the glass build, the dual cameras, Type-C charging, a loud and decent sounding speaker, battery life which is A+, a notification LED at the bottom, a headphone jack, an IR blaster if you are into that, and lastly the toss-up of whether you like Xiaomi's skin or not. So the bottom line with this phone is, should you buy this? Yes, of course, this is the value for money phone under this budget. So that concludes my review of the Note 7 Pro. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section, and make sure to like this video if you guys enjoyed, and hit the subscribe button for more, and I will talk to you in the next one.